With me now, Kim Klacik, former Maryland congressional GOP candidate, the president of the PAC. It's called Red Renaissance. Hey, Kim, it's always great to have you back on. Kim, okay, these Antifa rioters are not stopping. Over the weekend, Kim, they threatened to burn down D.C. This was during a Black Lives Matter protest in Washington. They were chanting, "Let's burn down Washington, let's burn down D.C.," and rioters fought with police officers. So when is this going to end, Kim? What do you think?
Yeah, first of all, Liz, thank you so much for having me. I don't know when it's going to end, and I don't think our elected officials know either. I mean, we have to take a good look at this. There's a lot of things going on right now, right? So I don't know if everyone knows, but in D.C., D.C. was closed for indoor and outdoor dining until after inauguration. So a lot of restaurants just opened. So you see Antifa going through Washington, D.C., and basically heckling and even going into some of these restaurants and bothering the customers. And so now you have these restaurant owners that are happy just to have their doors open again, and now they're scaring their customers away. But then on top of that, what is the demands that Antifa has? I don't seem to understand it. I don't know if anybody else does. But with the Capitol riots, we've heard a lot about that from other mainstream media networks. But we're not hearing a lot about Antifa, what they're doing. And I don't hear what it is that they actually want. Now, they said they don't like President Trump. Now they don't like President Biden. And it doesn't seem like we're going to get anywhere anytime soon with them until somebody tells us exactly what it is that they want. And then somebody figures it out and tells them, look, we got to put law and order in place. As far as I know, Liz, the National Guard is still in D.C. today.
Yeah, and, you know, you're right. I mean, restaurants are trying to reopen, but they harass people at restaurants. Kim, we've got some of the sound of what happened. Let's take a listen. Let's watch what happened in D.C. over the weekend.
Move back. A 28-year-old. Move back. You're going to go to jail. Move back. Move back. Move back. Go to jail.
So, you know, you see it. This is dangerous stuff, Kim. You know, we've been reporting, you and I have talked about how 30 people were killed in the riots since last spring. And so we were wondering and asking, when are the American people going to see peace on our nation's streets? Because we are in the middle of a pandemic. Kim, as you pointed out, people are frustrated. They're watching this going on outside where they're locked in.
Yeah, absolutely. It is dangerous. It is scary. And as you know, we talked about before, in 2015, Baltimore City, we had our riots, and we still haven't rebuilt our city from 2015. Here it is in 2021. And so all these small businesses, again, are being hurt. And you see across this country, if you are a restaurant owner or a restaurant employee, unless you live in Florida, you are being hurt the most through this entire pandemic. And then we see that 1.9 trillion stimulus bill come out, and it still doesn't target small businesses or families, and especially restaurants. So they're not even going to see the relief here. So we need more law and order, and we need our elected officials to actually represent individuals that put them in office.
You know, Kim, you've been out in front on this. You've been way out in front on this. You're in Baltimore. And you're right. In 2014, President Obama called in the National Guard in Baltimore after the Freddie Gray riots. He condemned those rioters, saying those who looted and started fires in Baltimore should be treated like criminals. Thousands of troops were deployed to your city. That was President Obama saying, stop it. And what changed since then, Kim?
I don't know. I guess it's, catering to those extreme leftists that want to push this Black Lives Matter movement and want to push this narrative that everybody and everything in America is so racist. You're right. President Obama, he actually condemned it. And the difference is we had a lot more arrests happen during those 2015 riots. And that's why you saw it taper off so quickly, because he did. He said, look, you've got to restore law and order in Baltimore. But unfortunately, what we're seeing, especially with Mayor Bowser down in D.C., what we're seeing is they're not doing anything. They're allowing the criminals to run free and run their cities while regular local people patronizing the restaurants are living in fear and in danger.
Let me back up. Americans aren't for political extremism, especially violent extremism. It's about moderation and the consent of the governed. You and I have been talking about that for a long time. But here's what's not being talked about, Kim. Last year, we saw the largest year-over-year increase in homicides ever recorded in U.S. history. The homicide rate in 34 cities was 30% higher in 2020 compared to the prior year. The New York Post is going to run that story. I think they just ran it. This is according to the National Commission on COVID-19 and Criminal Justice. And Kim, the victims of these homicides are disproportionately African American. At least 8,600 black lives were lost to homicide in 2020. Don't those lives matter?
Yeah, we ask that question all the time. Here we are in 2021 in Baltimore City. We've already had 31 murders, and they are all of black individuals. And so, I see billboards in Baltimore right now by the FBI, by the local FBI, asking about if we have any information on those that breached the Capitol back on January 6th. But there's not one billboard asking about a murderer that's hurt somebody's family member here in Baltimore, right? That we don't have our cases being closed. It's about a 30% rate where we're closing cases and witnesses aren't coming forward, which we know is the biggest impediment in all of these cases. And so when are we going to actually truly act as if Black Lives Matter? I just don't know.
We had U.S. Missouri Senator Josh Hawley's wife filing a criminal complaint against the man who organized a protest outside their home in Virginia. Aaron Hawley filed a criminal complaint. Basically, they had Senator Hawley and his wife had an infant child inside their house, and their home was vandalized. So we have that happening. We also have a fight over reopening. And Kim, I'd like your reaction to this. We've had teachers union. They're not going, unions are saying we're not going to go back into schools yet until we're vaccinated, until it's safe. When you have nurses, firemen, cops, grocery store workers, mailmen going back on the job, so we have teachers unions, though, saying defund the police. The teachers union in Los Angeles said defund the police. Your final word on that?
Yeah, teachers are essential. Education is essential. These teachers need to get back to work. I know many of teachers that do want to go back to work, but the teachers union, they're still making their dues. They're still getting their fees because some of these teachers are still being paid. Of course, their fees come out of that. And so they need to understand, look, our children are very important. And if they're supposedly our future, as they say they always are, then why are we not making sure that they're being educated? That's what makes them successful later on. We all know that. It's not rocket science. But you know what? We hear about defund the police. I wouldn't be surprised if Americans start saying defund the teachers unions shortly down the line here.
Well, we'll have you back on to talk about it, Kim. You're terrific. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.